it's 20, I was, yeah.
Do we get royalties?
Y'all are,
25.
y'all are live.
Okay.
Straight.
No slouching.
I'm gonna jack my chair up so I don't look like a.
Are you ready, Sonny, for, we'll do the Board of Adjustments meeting first?
Might as well.
Okay. All right, let's call to order the Board of Adjustments meeting. Roll call, we have Colt.
Here.
We have Reagan's here, Tanya.
Here.
Randy.
Here.
Brandon.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. You would review the minutes from our last Board of Adjustments meeting and make any suggestions on changes or approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Colt made a motion.
I'll second it.
Tanya second. Colt.
Yes.
Reagan's yes. Tanya.
Yes.
Brandon. I'm sorry, Randy.
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
All right, unanimous. Y'all would review the agenda. Sonny, the agenda looks good to you, right, sir? Okay, you would review and
I'll make a
the
motion.
motion? Okay, Colt made a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got Randy accepted it. Colt,
Yes.
Reagan's yes. Tanya?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Unanimous? Good deal.
Mr. Chairman, first item on new business is a request to rezone properties on the west side of Highway 71 from Hester Cut Road to Mount Zion Road. These properties are currently zoned as R1 single family and should be zoned as C2 highway commercial. All property owners have been notified, the planning department recommends the approval of this rezone. In your package, you'll find a map with the outline drawing of all the parcels. And then you have a copy of the letters that were sent out to the property owners and property owners that touched these properties. We had nobody call to say they didn't approve of it. And then you have a copy of the individual parcels and a copy of the proposed ordinance. These parcels, when they were, or some of the parcels that we find every once in a while that come into the city and should have been rezoned as C2 when they were annexed, but they were overlooked. We found this out, there was a real estate company that was wanting to rezone one of the parcels, and Hunter realized that none of the parcels were commercial, and we're just making this a corrective ordinance.
Yeah, we already have some,
Yes.
one C2 property, Cam Reynolds.
Yeah,
Is that right?
And then we have the property on the corner that has the
Does that touch it? That's
strip
it.
shopping or strip office thing that will one of these days be the fire
Okay, yeah,
station number 3.
okay. Yeah, this, I think that, gosh, I was thinking that corner was owned by the Lafayette or somebody. Maybe that's been changed.
At one point in time, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, they were gonna build a restaurant there, but I think Seward, of course, changed that for a little bit, but. All right, y'all heard the statements, and y'all have any more discussion about it, or any concerns, and,
No. I'll make the motion to accept.
okay, Brandon made a motion,
I'll second it.
okay, Tanya made a second. Colt?
Yes.
Reagan's yes. Tanya?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Okay, it's unanimous. Down to item 2, new business.
Yes, there's no new business, no old business. I would like Hunter to introduce our new employee. He's our code enforcement officer, and will be doing permitting and inspections behind Hunter.
Oh, really? Good. So you're gonna take up helping him with inspections when he's gone, or,
Yes.
Well, good.
This is Michael Archdeacon. He's gonna be officially titled our Community Compliance Inspector, which is the rebranded version of code enforcement.
okay.
It's got a nicer ring to it, and we don't want to be perceived as enforcement officers of the
Yeah.
law. Just municipal law and going out to inspect properties. He previously did code enforcement in a city called Ward, and then transitioned to Cabot, which is about 4 times our size, and he's been a full-time building inspector up there for how long?
The year
About a
Is that
year.
right? Well, good.
So he's fully certified to do my job and
Okay.
more.
Well, good.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
a question just about code enforcement. There's a house on Governor Bass Little Street that is literally falling apart and has been like that for several years. Where does the city step in and say, this is an enormous hazard, you know, for little kids and,
I believe I know the property you're talking about. There have been some orders submitted on that property by 3 code enforcement officers back. That's on our list of things to tackle. We're going to address some policy issues first. We don't have the proper procedures in place per se
For violators or?
for those type of situations. And before we start sending out a bunch of orders and notices to people, we want to have a policy to back it up. So we should be presenting to you all probably at the next meeting. No, take that back because I won't be here.
Going to Canada.
Going to Canada for 2 weeks.
You got
So,
Greenwood.
yeah, it'll be the October planning commission meeting. We'll bring some new policies in front of you all to look at and approve.
great, thank you.
Yeah, we need those. We got this. What you're talking about.
Well, Mike, it's nice meeting you, sir.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yes, welcome.
Mr. Chairman, the other thing is comments. I noticed that we had somebody come in. Is there something that you wanted to?
I do have a few questions. Did you bring out the?
We haven't, we're in board of zoning adjustments. He'll fit better under planning commission
All right.
comments, I think.
You ready for adjournment?
Yes.
Okay.
That motion.
All right, Colt made the motion right off.
I'll second it.
All right, Brandon second, Colt,
Yes.
Reagan's yes, Tanya.
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
unanimous. No, you're good. You're done right on you. You're ready. We can't call to order the planning commission meeting. Roll call, we have Colt,
Here.
Reagan's here, Tanya,
Here.
Randy,
Here.
Brandon.
Here.
Okay, it's quorum, and so we have a quorum. If you would review the minutes from our last planning commission meeting, and make any suggestions, changes, or approval.
I'll make the motion to approve those.
Colt made the motion,
Second.
Tanya second, Colt,
Yes.
Reagan's yes, Tanya,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
We have unanimous.
Yes.
All right. If you would look at the agenda, right now the agenda has no items on it. Is that still true, Sonny?
True.
Okay,
We'll move it down to comments.
okay,
We've got somebody that
all right.
wants to make a comment, so this is the perfect place for it.
Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and approve the agenda as written. Do we have any,
I'll make the motion.
we make a motion, Colt?
I'll second.
Okay, Brandon makes second. Okay, Colt?
Yes.
Reagan's yes, Tanya?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Unanimous? All right, Sonny?
You want to get up there and explain it, and I'll pull
Sure.
up some background documents with you?
We're going down to the comment section, correct?
If you would, tell them your name and your address.
Will Shepherd, address is, I don't have one yet, it's 403
To be determined.
Hunter's Ridge.
Hunter's Ridge Way.
Hunter. So I guess, talk about the sidewalks first. Where we're at, you can see there, in Hunter Red the reg, which states, what was it, public road, if you're on a public road, you have to have sidewalks, right, with new construction. Obviously, my property in, which you can see it's to the east of, yeah, and it's long, it's
Bigger than
Right,
this now.
bigger than that. And then Terrell to the east, which he's gonna start the process here pretty soon. You know, we don't butt up against any public roads. So you'd mentioned the sidewalk fee, which that was $100, I paid that, and then we have to put sidewalks in there. But clearly, where we're at, surely we don't have to put the sidewalks in, correct?
Well, in lieu of
What's the way
sidewalks, you
it
have fees, it's just so the commission understands, and I've been in that situation,
So you
so.
still have to pay that.
You do have a fee, Hunter, right? I mean, you don't have to, if you don't feel like it fits, which I would agree that would not fit. And the question still would be, you're not on a public road, so you still have some valid statements, but,
That's the reason he's here this evening, and
This
and he
evening.
does have some valid points.
Mhm.
I've got another project in town that's case, he does not front any kind of public street. His property is located on a public drive, on a private drive.
So it's a private drive, so that's where the difference would be,
Which would make sense if we were in, Denver.
yeah.
It's a
Or
busy
any
road,
public
you want
street.
somebody to have access to water,
Sure.
not on the road.
Mhm.
We don't have that problem.
Yeah, so you're on a private drive.
Correct.
And the
Just
issue
anybody walking up
is,
that road.
is regulation does not specify the procedure for this instance.
For the $100 fee or what?
No, for the payment in lieu of, the $100 fee is associated with every building permit that's issued.
Even if you don't have to put a sidewalk in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is
That $100 fee for new construction, and $50 fee for remodel or additions goes to a sidewalk maintenance fund that goes to support the continued maintenance and improvement of sidewalks across the city. City council determined a long time ago to put that weight on building permits across the board, whether you have sidewalk in front of your house or not. I don't have the specific regulation pulled up, but it's associated with every single permit, building permit.
And I
not
think
trade permit.
that's fair with it being associated permitting, but, in lieu of, the fee that you're looking at would be extreme.
That's what I heard.
So this section that I've got up right now is section 4 out of our sidewalk ordinance. And it says for new construction, residential and commercial developments, and development is defined up above as any, I believe any man-made improvement to a lot, parcel, site, tract. There is a section 3 that's specific to subdivision development. So there is a difference in term between subdivision and then development. Development can be a single lot. And it says,
And then there's
shall be
also
required,
that minor subdivision, which we are.
Mhm.
shall be required to install sidewalks on all, and then this is the caveat there, all street frontages align new sidewalk with any existing on adjacent property. Planning commission may, allow for payment in lieu of when it's topographically unsuited for sidewalks. There is no procedure process about this specific situation.
Yeah, so with street, it's not defined, but in your statement, a street would be a public street.
I thought you read that, it said it's not, it was like a public street.
Well, so I've got different streets listed in the definitions. You've got arterial, collector, local. I did not anticipate this
Right.
and define private drive in this ordinance.
Yeah.
But private drive in of itself is very easy to define. It's a private access road
It's not a public street.
through one lot to access one or more lots. So I believe that in this situation, it would be prudent not to charge him that payment in lieu of fee, but aside from his issue, I want that clarified in the ordinance so that I have that backing and.
So you'll be
we can-
making changes to the ordinance to kind of address what we're talking about, what you're recommending as far as the planning department,
Yeah,
so.
and I can take care of that policy side of it and present that back to you all and have it, approved through city council before he's closing on this, ready for certificate of occupancy. Not that we would even have to have it, because it doesn't state specifically that I have to charge this to him, but I would feel more comfortable to have this taken care of, say we don't have to charge this to him before we get to certificate of occupancy.
We don't set a precedence with a variance. So right now, you could get a variance,
It doesn't even have a variance procedure in here.
so you could not variance the ordinance.
Are you
We
gonna
would have to
present
go
that?
to city council to have them change the ordinance.
Oh, interesting.
If we were to decide that he does in fact need to pay that. But I
You're saying
don't,
that, are you saying $100, or are you saying that big?
No, we're talking about the big,
Absolutely.
your 100 is gonna probably not be worth discussing, but, the other's worth discussing for sure, and
yeah,
undo, yeah.
and I think that's not a big issue. We can tackle that through proper definition in this ordinance.
So that, and you haven't closed on the property yet,
No, I just paid the
building,
permit.
okay. So, but you own the property now?
I do.
Okay, so, but you hadn't started,
Yeah.
so you said
I
you'll
have
have
to,
this.
he has to have paid this before
Yeah, I noticed
certificate of
there's a-
occupancy can be issued. This isn't in your way to get you going,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but before I can issue a C of O and allow you to live on
Oh,
site.
C of O,
Then you would have
okay.
to have this taken care of, which is months down the road, and we can get it taken care of through council between now and then.
Yeah, your COO would be when you when you finish.
And then speaking of variance, which we talked a little bit in our meeting about the road, which, so the pond, we don't have to put the pond in now, which we've already have built the pond. Because to get our final, where we can move in, we ended up on with a dry hydrant. We ended up putting it on Terrell's lot, which is on the south end there. And we're talking with the fire chief, we called the state of Arkansas. Paved road is not required for fire trucks going up and down that road.
Right, just a base of some sort.
75,000 pounds, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Obviously, they can hold it because dump trucks go up and down that road.
True, the compaction should pass.
Yeah, so during the meeting, and Terrell thought we were good, I just talked to him earlier before we got here. The chief said, yeah, I said, are you good with that road? Because when we put that in there, that we had to have it paved, you know, private drive or paved, was because for fire access, that's what Stewart wanted, so first fire trucks going down. So he said he was good, if the state's good with the road that we have now. And so
What's the ordinance say?
that's what I asked him. Well, the ordinance, if you look, it's a one page. If you're,
And what does it say?
Private drives can be approved as access for lots by the planning commission, provided that all the conditions are met. The private drive shall only be approved for residential development. It must be a cul-de-sac or short loop street not exceeding 1,000 feet in length. And the minimum pavement width shall be 26 feet. The proposed provision of access by private drive shall be reviewed by all public service departments, including fire, sanitation, police, and school. Private drives shall not be maintained by the city.
Didn't we talk about this a
so
couple?
our
Maybe
road
too.
is,
Yeah,
our
I
road's
think
over 1,000, it's over 1,000.
It was you were just under 900 to get to your lot, which was the key, which allowed me to use private drive, not to the end of not to its terminus.
So pull up the one page for minor subdivisions and lot splits. Now, that says subdivision design. We're not a subdivision, we're a minor subdivision, which you'll read here in a second.
So, okay, going back to what you just read, I don't know if there's any weight either side of what that, it really did not just specify road. So what you just read me on private drive doesn't say it has to be chip and sealed or,
Says
Well, he's got a definition.
does it say asphalt on the private drive?
If, for his definition.
A
it
private
says
drive? You're saying minor subdivision might say something different. I didn't hear that asphalt on the
And
private
at the
drive.
top of that header, it says
Minimum
subdivision, which we're not a subdivision, we're a minor
Pavement.
subdivision.
So it did say pavement,
pavement.
okay,
Yeah.
shall be, so
So
pavement.
you look at the top, subdivision design standards. So that's a subdivision. Now go to the minor subdivision section. Let's see that. Lots split up there, additionally. Read that big.
Son,
paragraph.
Hunter,
The big thing is.
Hunter, go ahead,
You're looking
hang on
for-
1 second. Hunter, you go ahead and take of this. Where are we looking at?
Yep. So this is Article 8, lot splits in minor subdivision, and it defines, in the case of where you have a subdivision that is 6 or fewer lots, that doesn't require the construction of any public improvements, being that of streets, water, sewer, fire, any of that, then you can be a minor subdivision. And this is my understanding, he's got a slightly different understanding, and that's okay.
It says public streets.
And it says does not require the construction of any public streets. And so when going through his project,
And hold on, go down.
I'm
Read
gonna
that.
get there, but where no other improvements are required.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Okay.
So we're talking, so we approved this as a private drive and not a minor subdivision.
No, we approved it as a minor subdivision, and my argument for that was those lots would have required a public street to access them because they are not public fronting. However, we do have the provision within a subdivision design regulations or the design standards to use a private drive, which is access through a lot to access one or more lots. It's very unique circumstances when you would ever really use that. And this fit that case.
And I think, and I just want Mr. Shepherd to know that I think the planning department really helped in getting this solved because of Terrell came, there's been many meetings that we've had here, and I thought they'd been over backwards for that. So I think, and they will in this case too, I think we're already talking about, you know, not doing the sidewalks. So now we're talking about not putting down, what was your intention of them doing, pavement or gravel? On the
Pavement
previous.
is what our regulations state at 26 feet wide, and pavement with some kind of hard surface.
Yeah,
The intention behind requiring private drives to be paved, I truly don't know. We would have to go back to when the subdivision design standards were.
but we're not even
enacted.
talking about private drives, we're in minor subdivision for sure, because that's the way you
Yes.
approved it. So
Yes.
private drives, whether it should be pavement or not, this is not a private drive. We've already decided this is a minor subdivision,
No, it's still a private drive.
in a minor subdivision.
Inside of a minor
Okay, I
subdivision.
got
So which takes precedence, well, I don't know, 'cause
Yeah,
So the place he wants me to go, which is fine, this is where we disagree. Says, for the purpose of effectuating this section of the code, a subdivision is considered a minor subdivision when it contains 6 or fewer lots, no streets, utilities or other improvements are required to be made. Now,
clear.
well, it says no streets, that'd be a public street,
and so.
and that would typically be.
My understanding of this is, imagine you had 10 acres along Denver Street, all fronted Denver Street, and it all had access to water and sewer. You wanna divide that into 6, 5, 4 lots. You can be a minor subdivision because it already fronts a public street, it already has access to the public utilities. It's not required
No streets
to
are
have any
added.
public improvements
Yeah.
installed to create the subdivision.
Right.
Now, in this case where he was at, they aren't fronting a public street, so in of itself, that would have required it to have public streets installed.
And that's the first time they came in, that was the discussion is, okay, we're gonna have to go curb and gutter and all this. And you guys decided that there is a loop that
Private
we can
drive.
go into a private drive, which I thought just on your side, that was helping your situation.
I guess my thing about all of it, and I understand you helping out with that, but how do you do that if you've got lots like there were, and you start building? Does it have to be a minor subdivision now?
Well,
I understand we moved a boundary line to make 5 acres instead of 3 up there. Because he had to keep him over 5, me over 5, Terrell already had his. But if it was just the way it is before all this started, I mean, what would it have been? Would we have to call it minor subdivision? Or is it just some lots that some people are building houses on? And
Well,
and there's an easement up to the property.
yeah, and so why did you call it a minor subdivision versus a private drive?
In
What helped
essence, it
them?
was a corrective action because those parcels should have never existed. They were created, and this is an issue inside of the planning industry,
Years ago?
municipal wide.
Yeah.
Not citywide, not just Greenwood, but this is in every municipality. When you have somebody that has a large tract of land and they wanna split off a small portion of it, which, you know, when you have 50 acres and a small portion is 10
Yeah.
acres, that's, you know, it's not a lot. Well, then in 10 years, they split off another 4 acres, and 10 years later, they split off another 1 acre. And that's how we got to where we are now, and this is not as much their problem as it was the previous owner's problems. It was created by the previous owners.
Which was already done, and the number of lots that are there now was there before I bought the property. We didn't subdivide or.
Well, only because
lots.
because the city wasn't aware that the gentleman kept selling off parcels of the bigger plot. So that's
Correct,
what
which is
Hunter's
a-
saying is if you sell off a piece and then you sell off, that person sells off another piece, well, then it becomes, he
No, I get it. It's being
creates
divided.
into, it's divided into a point where it should have been a minor subdivision, and that's where I thought the city was being very helpful in that situation for everybody, but now, let's just go back to the skin of this, is we're talking about streets. So, everybody, I think, understands that we got to the place where you need to be. Yes, and so, only place we're at right now is, okay, whether it's a minor subdivision or private drive, what do we have to do with the street? Does it have to be paved, or can it stay a road, or a dirt road? So, what
I
is,
think that's the question, right? Is that?
Because that's my question. If
Sure.
somebody buys a 5 or 6 acre lot, say it's a rectangle lot,
yeah,
and it's, it's on a road, it's a single lot, it's a private drive, and are they gonna and they wanna put their house in the back of the property, are you gonna make them chip and seal or asphalt it or concrete all the way up?
well,
Because that's kind of what we're talking about doing.
in a single lot scenario, but yes, I
Because
think,
it's a private drive.
I always figured, we had private drives that were gonna enter into the new subdivision that was coming off Main Street, that is the Oaks, and they were gonna have to chip and seal or do some kind of base more than a dirt. So you have a new road coming in that is gonna be a private drive or access easement that was gonna enter that subdivision, and there was lots of comments and statements on how that was supposed to be finished and prepped. So this kinda leads back to what you're saying. Is the fire chief happy with, so this is setting a precedence,
He said he was.
right? And I don't disagree, I mean, the slickness of dirt when it turns to mud, and slope, and I'm surprised, I'll just say that. So that's my only comment, so I'm fine either way. I think you have a great argument or a great statement, but it sets a precedence for the fire chief to say, hey, if you didn't you do it, are you gonna have to make these other accesses?
And not to say we won't pave it,
You might gravel it anyways.
we wanna do it, but.
Yeah. And I think if you came in and said, if you're gonna gravel it, just say you're gonna gravel it, and I think that solves all the problems. If
We
you're s-
are, it is gravel up to a point, but it's been destroyed. And up
Is that
farther
bad?
on my property, they just keep putting,
More
there's
patching.
gravel, but they just keep putting shell on top of it, and it's filling up.
Are you going to are the homeowners there on that private drive gonna put gravel?
We are, there's
finishing
gravel,
gravel?
most of it, but the top part, it's.
So, I mean, if that's the statement, I think that's, just to say it's gonna be a dirt road, I think it's setting some precedents that you probably don't
No,
wanna say.
it's gravel. The top part's dirt because
Of
they keep
the
putting
people,
shell on
yeah,
top.
and they drive it.
If they're off of it, it's gonna be a nice gravel drive.
Yeah,
'cause
and I think if you said that, I think that may be something to be more palatable.
I have a question real
Okay.
quick.
Go ahead.
At the end of Ulmer, because at the house that I used to live in, it turned from the asphalt to dirt road right in front of my house. And since I moved from there have been several houses built back there. So what has been done?
That's the county.
That's.
Is it county? Because I
I'm
thought,
thinking I know it was, yes, the city might have brought it in, but they haven't, I guess. The city has not
I
brought
thought
in
that they
lately.
had.
Palmer past Meadow Brook, I think.
The turn there, the bend?
Mm-hmm,
It's where it's optional, the rest of that's county.
I
okay.
think so.
Hmm.
So, that's good to know. So if we know it's gonna be gravel,
Yeah,
so then the commission
I don't
knows
wanna
that
go
we,
down a dirt road.
yeah, you're right, I
Even
figured
gravel,
I figured.
After a
you're right.
while, we'll probably end up doing something. but-
Yeah, more chip and seal or something like that.
So-
But like you said, you don't have to make that a standard. So if you're stating that you're looking at a gravel road versus some kind of paved road,
Chip and seal.
Yes.
I will say, the state fire marshal's statement is true and correct as far as our current code cycle. We have a new code cycle coming, and we so happen to have an individual in the audience on that code panel that has been going through all of the amendments and changes and clarifications and definitions. And he's better suited to talk about it than I am. I'm not on that panel. But it was told to me that they
everything?
Yeah, fire apparatus access roads and how they are constructed, and what they're constructed out of. And
Right.
he can tell us about the time frame of that code adoption and where they're going.
Are they looking at accepting a gravel road as an acceptable surface?
No, we're actually taking that completely out. It has to be, it's gonna be concrete or asphalt, it's gonna be put in the definition. But,
Is that for?
that's gonna be the 2024 code cycle, that's what's actually gonna come. What you're actually referencing and calling the fire apparatus, which is, Arkansas Fire Prevention Code, that has nothing to do with also the standards and procedures. But to tie this all in, like, I might just overwhelm you a little bit here. So, whenever you're looking at that road, you're looking at a private drive, first off, you're defining it as pavement in your subdivisions. Whenever you go to your minor subdivision, you're actually supposed to meet all those qualifications in your definitions where you can actually classify it as a minor subdivision. So when it says and, I mean, all of it does all the other, that's what you have to get before you can classify that. But also, I understand your,
So what do you mean?
hold on, 1 second. I understand your concern and your, but from where I come, big development area, we like to see a lot of dead end sidewalks where I come from. But I have to say, have you ever heard of Mean Pig? The barbecue food, anyways, made the TV for the hottest barbecue sauce. But anyways, they were the only business that was put into the commercial area about 25 years ago. And they had to be put in the fire hydrant. And they're upset because once they put in the fire hydrant in the main line, everybody, all the other commercial came in. They tied into that.
They want to recoup
So,
or some sort.
whenever you're looking at the planning side, it's not just, hey, this seems unfair now, you gotta look at the future development. Is this gonna eventually get dedicated to the city? Is that gonna be eventually a road? Y'all wanna pay for the sidewalks later?
Yeah,
So, those are the balances you need to come into.
yeah.
But if pavement's defined as asphalt in the subdivision regulations, that's what it actually needs to be.
So you're saying subdivision, not
Subdivision.
subdivision, supposed to have everything on the road.
Yes.
I can't believe the
Even
fire
though
chief
it
kind of.
literally says it doesn't. So, but again, whenever you look at the minor subdivision, you have to meet all that criteria to actually classify fully as a minor subdivision.
I think this would be a first, would this not be a
But
first?
you said street was
like
not necessarily paved, but
Here?
we feel like that I think the street is referenced as pavement and it's still coming down and it comes into that category as a sub of what a subdivision would be, and it's a minor subdivision, and so you're saying you have to meet that criteria and then
You
you're
have to
coming
meet that
down
criteria
past that.
before you actually expand.
So,
So whenever you actually look at the definition,
I think
If
what
you do
we
that
could do in this specific situation, and they've said numerous times that at the end of the day, in 5-10 years, they would like to have a nice,
I
potentially
don't wanna have a dirty car.
likely
Yeah, your wife,
paved,
yeah.
paved road. The problem that they've got on site, when you find my mouse, is a problem that I can't fix currently. It is Forestrin and RDOT pulling out of this pit, and they were required to pull a heavy haul bond and have their route determined when they started operation on site. So it was determined at the time that they could come in on our freshly overlaid, freshly dedicated to the city street, Center Street. They could come in empty because they're not hurting the roads, driving empty. Come in off center, get loaded, exit to the south down this access easement that was, and it was given by Jacob Burton, to Jacob Burton's property. And then exit on West Denver where they were having to bond from this location here, one side of the road only,
Hmm.
all the way to state highway, and then from there on out, they're on state infrastructure to the bypass project. So that is what is tearing up this road. That is why they don't wanna go spend a fortune to pave it, asphalt it, chip and seal, whatever suitable. Because the second that they do, and the first couple of trucks that run down, they're gonna tear it up.
yeah, and there's no bonding of that.
And there's no bonding of that.
Well, we've seen what happened at the end of Denver.
I mean, it's like a, yeah, it is,
It's horrible.
yeah, it is, it's
So,
sliding down an intersection.
If we could put in some condition that, you know, the ordinance stands, the ordinance says pavement, the only body that can change that according to what I've read is the city council. They would have to revise the ordinance. But this body or the board of zoning adjustments, either one, restrictions and variances and so on.
And Damascus is gravel, is it not?
Damascus is gravel. It is a city street for a small portion of that, and then it turns into a private drive. Yeah. So it is listed, this is on these records here, as city street up to this point, and then private drive all the way up to these two driveways. But if consideration could be given to this project until after the construction work at the pit to the north is ceased, and then give them an allowance to pave this after that construction work is done, they can know that they'll have a nice, solid, well-maintained road for the foreseeable future.
That seems
And
to be.
Is that, now how do you, tell me what kind of language that would be?
I don't have a clue right now.
Well, and that's, in 1,000 feet is where his hand is.
Yes.
So, yeah, right where your road is, well, where your lot
Well,
begins.
And obviously, we're gonna have to keep going.
Yeah, you're probably, yeah, you'll make it more, but
you
you're not
wouldn't be-
required.
You wouldn't be regulated once you
Yeah.
were on your driveway. What's no longer private drive, well, when you hit driveway, you could do gravel, you could do concrete, you could do it at 16 feet wide, 14 feet wide, all the way to your house.
And the good thing that happened is, again, is that road was there. If that road was further up by about another 300 feet or 100 feet, probably, that would have changed what you could have done or you allowed even then. So,
It's gonna increase the property value too, paving that, I mean,
You know, it's that thing.
that's gonna
Yeah,
cost,
it
it's
should be.
gonna
How
cost
much
a
we
lot.
put in a pond.
I can only imagine.
That's the thing. It's
Well-
like we've already incurred a large amount of money, and I paid half for a pond that's not even on my property.
right,
I'm not gonna give that back.
yeah,
And that's not gonna be cheap,
yeah.
even if we had to.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But, and I think the city, and I mean, I'm just saying from a developer side of it it could have been a much, much, much worse. But I agree, it's still expensive, and it is. And so, with trying to put a water main up there was gonna be, with fire hydrants, was gonna be a lot more expensive.
There's not enough water pressure on it.
That's why too. And so, but then that just makes it undevelopable, and you sure don't want that to be the case. So I think that the city, and I've been to cities where they just said, too bad, and, and so I thought that the planning department worked with that scenario with not, this is the first time we've met you, but your other, Terrell and,
I was at one of your meetings.
oh, was it?
Smaller than-
But they had, yeah, with Meekers and, but anyways, so it's one of those things that I was hoping this was down the road and everybody was happy and they were, but now it's, whether it's a dirt road or it's gonna be a chip and seal, right? Or gravel.
Gravel.
And so I think, and I think I don't know, we're thinking gravel is probably gonna be a short-term solution where the city's happy as far as if we can make it fit inside the ordinances and stuff. So we agree with that, and I think that's what you're looking for. But then, there may be a requirement for a chip and seal at a certain sunset. So those are the kind of languages that you have to, we've got to figure out. And I think with this being a comment section, when you come back, I think the planning department and you would come up with a language that said, hey, what date are we looking at? I mean, how long do they have that pit? What's that agreement look like? You don't know.
They
It's coming up on 5 years.
They had
Is it a 5-year plan?
I
Yeah,
think
they
5
have a
years.
5-year
And they've been
lease.
2, probably.
No,
No, it's longer than
It's
that.
been.
Oh, has it been longer than that?
Four.
Are they planning
You know,
on
you can
correcting
see
the
about
road
safety like that
after they
house.
get done with it?
I mean,
Do what?
kids could fall off there. I mean, it's a
Oh,
big
it
drop off.
is something.
I mean, what's
Yeah.
the requirements for, so you have to be a
Stripping.
certain grade, some step downs?
It's,
Because I'm gonna have a kid on the other side, and I'm gonna tell them, don't go on the other side.
yeah, and if they're
And
doing a
13-year-old
four-wheeler.
kids, what do you think
They
gonna
wanna
do? They're
explore.
gonna go on the other
Yeah,
side.
that's really, yeah, I know, it's really odd, but yeah, your strip mining, because they had to have some kind of,
This is a state regulated project too.
Mhm.
They've got a state mine permit that they're supposed to be
That's right,
adhering to. They've pretty well removed regulation.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could look into that as far as being a homeowner there next to it and see what that permitting had and what's the requirements of that. That'd be an interesting, because like you said, just going up there with a four-wheeler and, you know, having a friend right behind you and, yes, I mean, that's,
At night.
oh, it's a bad, I mean, during the day with that dirt, I've had people kill themselves with that. At night, it's terrible. You're done, yeah. They wouldn't know the terrain.
I haven't been up there.
This
Sure
is my
we
guy.
got it.
He's gonna.
You know, if it happens naturally, that's one, but when you cut it and create it, then you're
Right in the middle of town.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he have 5 years to do something with it, right? Like either
I don't know.
There was
build something or?
So there was a 5-year lease pulled on the property by Royal Ridge Construction, and as far as I know, they can renew that lease. There's not any regulation that specifies the maximum amount of time that you can lease property, so if they were to continue to renew that lease, I fully expect them to pursue that avenue whenever we do phase 2 of the Highway 10 widening project. But once the bond is done for this first phase, we would have a tool at that time to say no more out that way, let's go out Center Street or some other more appropriate path.
Okay,
Which I'm looking into easements and everything that's up there.
yeah, you should be.
On my property.
Okay.
I got a buddy that's a lawyer looking at easement, he does, closings, him and their guy, they got a company. And the way he reads, it's 2018, you know, that's on that plat. Well, Chris, or Chad Harris that I bought the land from, he owned the property in 2017. And so that deed that he deeded, that easement, was 25 feet on mine, 25 feet on whoever owned it, before Terrell owned it. Well, Chad didn't sign that side of the easement. He
Oh.
went on there.
Yeah,
And he owned it in 2017. And it didn't say anything about Burton using that easement. He's just giving easement for the property owners that owned it. So really, he doesn't,
they're using the 25 feet of it, that's
well,
not
they're using,
yours.
well, not only that, even the other 25 feet, it's not for Burton. It's for the people that owned it,
Oh,
not
And they
Burton's
just
land on
started-
the north, because he has access to Center Street.
yeah,
So he didn't write anything in there. It ends right at the corner of our property.
yeah. And then there was an easement, but that was more of a pedestrian easement, not a Burton easement. And so,
Well, it's easement for, yeah, the people that own.
that's what, yeah,
Had those properties.
Residential
For Dean,
easement.
because he built the big house, and then he bought the other one.
yeah.
It was, but it doesn't read anything for Burton on the north end, because he didn't need an easement.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's where he's got a civil capabilities to
Yeah.
pursue that.
He's looking at it, and he's almost 100% sure, and he's gonna write something up, and we're probably gonna close that off.
There you get it paved.
Yeah,
There you go, get it paved with that, cause they're
we're
gonna
probably gonna close that.
close it or get
One, the road's 100% on mine, and it's not
even 25 on the
Yeah.
other.
Good real estate attorney. Is
Yeah,
what you,
well,
what
that's
you need
what
right
he
now,
does.
probably.
He does, for like Wyndham Properties, like he's on a project that he's been working on for like a year and a half, so he knows all this stuff.
Yeah,
That's your guy.
yeah, and it's, but in the
Well, even
meantime,
the-
for you on your benefit for this road,
Well, even the lady, when you were there, and so are you, she's like, why do you have dump trucks going up and down your private drive? She goes, that's a safety issue.
well, yeah,
You need to go put a gate up there, because what if emergency equipment need to come up there, or
yeah,
because it's not a public easement.
yeah. Yeah, that's surprising.
All right, I took enough of your time.
Well, no, appreciate the information. So, that is,
Thank you.
so we're looking at the comment section of this, so to end this part of it and keep you, yeah, I think the planning department, it sounds like, you know, the fire chief has opened that door, which is good. And so that would be the biggest obstacle, I think, in us, considering, a time lapse or time-sensitive pavement of that road. And so that's just kind of determining gravel, temporary, and then when it does have to be chip and seal or whatever pavement's approved. Is that something, and so that language would have to be created by you and the planning department, and where that can be presented to us? And would it eventually go to the, city council, or would we be able to do that as a commission side? It would have to go, it comes to us, and then we would refer it to the city council?
I would say that'd be a smart thing to do.
Okay, well, we kind of help, you know,
In turn, it would be run under contract with the deputy city council.
that's right, it would be a contract of a sunset date of some sort. And the monitoring the procedures, if it, a bonding probably, you believe,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you have to, I think typical contracting of that nature would have a bond. That being said, any other questions to this? And
I'm good.
Good information, we learned a lot.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
your
Yeah,
time.
you bet.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Any other comments?
I have none.
You have any?
I'm just curious, I really thought that the end of Ulmer, I don't mean to jump back on this, got,
Brought in?
brought in because there's no other access for emergency vehicles other than through the city street.
Last house on the right that was owned by, Donnie Whitson's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
that's the last house that's in the city limits.
Okay.
There's a city limit map right there.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
find Almer, where you at?
So
There's
Right.
Meadowbridge, I see it
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Ulmer continues, and we got a couple of parcels that front Ulmer here, and then it
It
stops.
just goes into the stop.
But this is still county maintained at this point and beyond.
Not maintained.
Hmm. Okay.
Makes sense?
Well, yeah, but like I said, I thought there was that argument, like
Somebody
with
was looking
the
at
loop,
the- I
that,
think they were developing that in the backside when
Yeah,
that
they-
land opened up, and that was the big, I remember that
Mhm.
comments, and they were looking at, okay, we're having that brought into the city to be able to access it.
That property,
Yeah.
everything from Main Street over to
Mhm.
Highway 71,
Mhm.
shot down.
Yeah, I remember, that's where I think we were at, Tanya, on that.
Cool.
Alright.
I'll make a motion.
Make them, okay. We're at
I'll
four.
second it.
We already, we did jump the gun a little there, but.
Sorry. Just trying to
We're
help.
back to the adjournment. Bart and Colt already made a motion that we adjourn. Do we have a second?
yes.
Okay, Tanya, second. All right, and I think all by hands, it's unanimous.
Yes.
Deal. All right, thank y'all.
Thank
Let me
you.
turn that recording off.